Hey folks, Dane here. I'm recording this on the 3rd of February. On the 1st of February, my grandfather, Anthony Posio, passed away. Um, he was a big influence on my life. He was somebody who always taught me to chase my dreams, no matter how difficult they might seem. And that especially was true of theater. Now, my grandfather always was very supportive of me. He was always in the front row of every show that I did, whether it was high school, college, community theater. And even when he couldn't come see my shows, he would always be very supportive. Hey, you know something, Dane? You're going to knock him dead. You're going to knock him dead. You're the most talented kid I know. Everybody else is second rate. And when I when I first floated the idea that I would be starting my own community theater group, he was actually one of the first people that I spoke to, and I asked him for advice, any kind of advice about what I should do. And he said two words to me: do it. No matter what. If you make $1 million or you don't make 1 cent, as long as you're having fun and as long as you're happy, go for it. And you know something? That's exactly what I did. So we are dedicating Scene Showcase 3 to the memory of my grandfather. Grandpa, I really wish you could still be around, but I know deep down that you are here in spirit and you're watching down from up above and you're applauding each of these scenes and all these performers. And I know you were very proud of me, and I'm glad that I made you proud to do all this. I love you, Grandpa. Good evening to you, gentle viewers. Let me ask you a question before we go any further. All of you know what shuddering is, yes? Well, of course you do. I'm almost certain that you do. It's a reflex, something we do when we react to fear. We shake, we gasp, we feel that cold tingle down our entire body. But consider this. What if I told you that there was once a boy, once upon a time, who did not know how to shudder at all? Not only that, but this boy went out of his way to want to learn the honest, true way of how to shudder. Yes, you heard me correctly. This boy wanted to learn about fear. It's true. I heard it from a friend of mine. Now, this boy lived in a small town, an ordinary town, a town that you yourself might live in and you don't even know it. His name was Thomas.
Hello.
Now, Thomas was still a young man, 10, maybe 11 years old. But in all of his years on Earth, Thomas had no earthly idea what it meant to shudder, what it meant to know fear.
It's true. I have no idea. But golly, I'd sure like to find out. Oh, if only I could shudder. If only.
So Thomas decided to do just that. He ventured off into town to try and figure out a way to shudder, a way to know fear. Naturally, he first went to the oldest, wisest man in town, the librarian, Mr. Peters. Mr. Peters had been the town librarian for as long as Thomas could remember, as long as anyone could remember for that matter. If anyone could give him advice and counsel on how to shudder, it was Mr. Peters. And so, Thomas trekked his way up to the main desk in the library to speak to Mr. Peters.
Ah, Thomas, my boy, hello.
Hey, Mr. Peters.
Looking to check out a book today?
Not today, sir. I actually had a question to ask you.
Is it a question about a book?
Well, no, not quite.
Oh dear. Those are the questions I know the best answers to. Ah, well. Go on then, lad. What's your question?
Sir, I wish to know what fear is. I wish to know how to shudder. Can you help me figure out how to do such a thing?
You don't know how to shudder? Well, goodness, that's rather odd.
Hey, don't get all judgmental on me. You don't know how to properly clean your beard. You don't see me making fun of you, do you?
My apologies.
Sir, please, all I wish is to know how to shudder. Help me, won't you? What can I do to feel such a sensation?
Well, goodness, that's easy. What you need to do is go to the old Parker Mansion on top of the big hill at the edge of town.
Parker Mansion?
Yes,
That big spooky house that's supposedly haunted?
yes,
Where several people have gone to investigate and never come back?
yes.
Well, sure, why the heck not? It'll help teach me how to shudder.
Very well then, lad. Go and speak to Mayor Daniels.
Mayor Daniels?
Yes, anyone who wants to go and explore the Parker Mansion has to go speak to the mayor.
Well, that's exactly what I'll do. Thanks a bunch, Mr. Peters.
And so, Thomas went off to the office of Mayor Daniels. For Mr. Peters was quite right. Anyone who wished to go to the Parker Mansion needed to speak with the mayor. It didn't really hurt that the mayor had a stake in that property, you see.
Mm-mm. Mayor Daniels.
Hmm? Ah, Thomas, hello there. What brings you by to see me?
Well, sir, Mr. Peters, the librarian, he told me to come to you regarding the Parker Mansion. You see, I wish to know what it's like to shudder, and going into that big old spooky mansion apparently will do just the trick.
Well, yes, Mr. Peters is correct. That old Parker Mansion is an incredibly spooky place. Many people in town think it's full of ghosts.
Ghosts, you say?
Indeed.
Well, hot dog. That could be the answer to my problem. Those ghosts could help me learn how to shudder. Mayor, with your permission, may I go there to investigate, to find these ghosts so I can learn how to shudder?
Well, I don't see why not, but Thomas, you must understand. The last 24 people who went into that mansion never came out.
Well, maybe 25 is the charm.
If you're not afraid to go, then I can't stop you. All right, Thomas, you have my permission. In fact, I'll make it interesting for you. If you could go to the Parker Mansion for 3 straight nights, find out the source of the hauntings going on there, and come out alive each time, you'll get a reward.
A lifetime supply of chocolate bars?
Uh, I was ready to offer you a monetary reward, but sure, why not? Chocolate for life.
Oh boy, I sure do like chocolate.
Thomas, are you absolutely sure that's the reward you want?
Yes, it is.
I mean, I can literally get you a cash reward, like money in hand. You're still a young boy. You'd feel like a millionaire. You can buy all the chocolate instead of.
Why waste money when I can just have it handed to me for the rest of my life for free?
Uh, I suppose when you put it that way, it makes sense.
Well, it's settled then. I'm off to the mansion.
Don't race off just yet, Thomas. First, you need to decide on something. You need to take 3 items with you for each night, but it can only be 3 items. Ones that aren't alive. Tell me the items, and I'll make sure to supply them to you.
3 items, you say? Let's see. I wish to take a big book of myths and legends, a dodgeball, and the picture of a mouth and teeth from Dr. Stein's office. You know, the dentist.
Well, those are 3 very oddly specific things, but done. They shall be yours. I'll leave them at the entrance to the mansion for you to pick up tonight.
Sounds good to me. Thanks a lot, Mayor. See you in the funny papers. Say, that lifetime supply of chocolate bars wouldn't happen to extend to every town I either visit or live in from now on, would it? Oh, please say it does. Please say it does.
Just here.
Rats. Ah, well, it's still a lifetime supply.
And so, young Thomas ventured that night to the old Parker mansion. He took his 3 items inside, and he waited. Waited, and waited, and waited some more. But nothing, not even so much as a boo, was heard for hours. Thomas was beginning to think that maybe this was all for nothing. That is, until around 3 a.m.
Yikes, this is boring. It's Dolesville. It's a bust, it's lame, it's stupid. How am I to learn how to shudder at this rate?
Oh, oh,
Huh? What's that?
oh, who dares come to the domain of the old Parker mansion? Who dares disturb our slumber?
Gadzooks! It's a ghost! Just a ghost. Gee,
I'm I'm literally standing right in front of you. Aren't you scared?
can't say I am.
Really?
Really.
Not even if I do this? Whoa!
Nope.
What?
How lame. I'm not shuddering at all.
Ugh, I can't believe this. I haven't scared you at all. Oh, my entire night is wasted.
Look here, take this book. It's about myths and legends. It's really cool. It's a token of my apology. Read it. You might like it.
Say, I haven't read a good book in ages. Gee, thanks, kid. That's awful swell of you. And so the ghost walked off to go read the book. Thomas fell asleep and woke up the next morning. He went back to Mr. Peters, and all they could say was, "Did you shudder, son?"
Not a one.
"It'll come, boy, it'll come." So off Thomas went back to the mansion for a second night. Once again he waited, and waited, and waited. It looked like another dull night, when suddenly, whoa, whoa.
Huh? Another ghost? Great. Maybe this time I'll be scared. Aha! There it is. Oh, there it is.
Who dares come to the domain of the old Parker mansion? Who dares disturb our slumber?
I do, I guess.
Oh, wait. You're that kid the first ghost told me about. The one who wants to shudder but can't.
That's me.
I know how to deal with tough guys like you. Boo!
Sorry, but that's what the other ghost did. The other ghost did the same thing to me. It didn't work. Hey, let go of my arm, you goon. Let go.
Not on your life. I'm going to drag you right straight to the bowels of hell itself.
No way! I came here to shudder, not to be dragged someplace. Besides, it's hot enough as it is outside. I don't need to go somewhere place even hotter. Take this.
Ow. Ow. Hey, cut it out. Yow! Will you stop hitting me with that dodgeball?
Not until you beat it, Buster.
Ow! Okay, I'm out of here. Jeez. What a bully. And so the ghost vanished, and Thomas fell asleep and woke up the next morning. He went back to Mr. Peters, and wouldn't you know, did you shudder, son?
Not a one.
It'll come, boy, it'll come.
Where have I heard that before?
And so Thomas went back on the third and final night. Fortunately, though, he did not have to wait long for a ghost to appear to him. Unfortunately, though, the ghost that appeared was the biggest, spookiest, scariest one yet.
Huh? Oh, a third ghost. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Who dares come to the domain of the old Parker Mansion? Who dares to disturb our slumber? Right? Just spit it out. Uh-oh. You're not like those other ghosts. You're much bigger, meaner, slimier. But doggone it, I'm still not shuddering. This is an outrage. I don't get it. Oh no. I'm not going to wherever you wish to drag me. I want to shudder, not be a prisoner. I'm warning you, Ghost. If you don't get away, I'll be forced to show you something even scarier than you are. All right, I warned you. Look at this, a picture of rotten teeth.
Oh my lord, that's hideous! It's disgusting! It's gross! Get it away! Get it away!
If all of you ghosts stop haunting here, I'll rip it to pieces.
Fine, we will. Fellas, let's get out of here. No one wants to see tooth decay. No! And so, the ghosts all fled the Parker mansion. Thomas had stopped the hauntings once and for all, though it felt like an empty victory, for he still did not know how to shudder, and it showed as he went outside the next morning, only to be met by the mayor. Bravo, Thomas, bravo! You've conquered the ghosts of the Parker mansion. You stopped the hauntings forever. You're a hero.
I suppose I am.
Still upset about not being able to shudder. Oh, come now, boy, that will pass. Believe me. For now, here, your certificate for a lifetime supply of free chocolate.
Thanks. Oh, gee. I should be happy about getting free chocolate, but golly, I never learned how to shudder. The one thing I wanted to learn.
Excuse me?
Oh, hi there. What's up?
Thomas, I couldn't help but overhear you. You want to learn to shudder, you say. Really and truly?
I sure do.
Well, you're in luck. I happen to know the best and easiest way to shudder.
Really? I don't know. If a bunch of ghosts couldn't get me to shudder, how can you get me to do it?
Just trust me. It's really easy to do. All you have to do is close your eyes and relax. Okay?
That's it? Well, I guess I can do that, yeah.
And so, Thomas closed his eyes and cleared his mind of all thoughts, relaxing as much as he could.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here it comes.
Slowly, the girl produces a bucket of cold water from off stage. She shows it to the audience, nods, then proceeds to splash Thomas over the head with the water.
Uh, ah! What in the world? What did you do that for? Oh, that was so cold. I'm shuddering. Oh, why am I shuddering? Oh.
How easy that was? And it got you to shudder too.
Well, hot dog. You sure are clever. Thanks a lot. Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we both get a king-size chocolate bar to eat to celebrate? It'll be my treat, of course. On account, I can get free chocolate bars for life.
That sounds like a plan to me. Hey, wait a sec. The candy store is in the other direction.
Oh, I know. But you see, my house is in this direction. Before I munch on some chocolate, I think I'd rather get changed into some dry clothes before I catch a cold. Urgh.
Lights up on a nicely furnished, somewhat spacious apartment building setting. There is a large couch in the middle of the stage, as well as several chairs, a few lamps, etc. Off to the left, we see a hallway leading to, presumably, a bathroom or a bedroom, etc., etc. To the right, we see a table, counter, and several kitchen appliances. Presently, there is one lone figure on stage. This is Charlie, around 35. He is on his hands and knees, his ear to the floor. He is obviously listening to something going on in the apartment below him. Indeed, we can hear faint, though still present mutterings and muffled voices from below Charlie. He has a look of fascination on his face as in walks Mary, aged around 30, onto the stage. This is Charlie's wife.
Hey, Charlie, you want to order something to be delivered to the apartment for dinner tonight? I'm not in the mood to cook. What the hell are you doing?
Keep your voice down. I'm trying to listen.
Will you get up from there, you dope? The last thing I need is for you to get carpet fuzz and dust bunnies all over yourself. I don't need you plopping into bed and causing my allergies to flare up.
Good Lord, these people are crazy. Absolutely nuts.
Who are you talking about?
The neighbors downstairs, the ones in apartment 6H.
What about them?
Well, it's been 3 weeks since they moved in here. And in those 3 weeks, they've been having the most bizarre and whacked out arguments I've ever heard.
Are you spying on the neighbors downstairs? What are you, 12?
I know, it's weird. But you can't blame me with this. I'm telling you, it's cuckoo central down here.
Oh, you've got to be exaggerating. Come on now.
Mary, in our 6 years of marriage, have I ever exaggerated about something?
Several times, not to mention during our 4 years of dating before we got engaged. If it makes you feel any better, it's an endearing quality that you have to be such a crafted storyteller. Why you never got into writing books, I'll never know.
Can we focus on my list of goals later? For now, let me listen to these wackadoodles downstairs. Mary moves closer to where Charlie is and cocks her ear to listen. We can hear faint muttering and muffled yelling, though we can't quite make out any words being said. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, yeah, they're arguing. You can't say they aren't, but couples argue all the time. It's not that strange, is it?
No, but not when it comes to these two. It's every single day, morning, noon, and night.
Huh. You know, I briefly saw them moving in when I was visiting Sheila on the 6th floor, helping her pick out a venue for her daughter's birthday party. They seemed like a normal looking couple to me.
Looks can be deceiving. But it's not just arguing, it's more.
More? Oh gosh, he doesn't hit her, does he? Or she doesn't hit him, right?
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly.
I mean, I don't think they hit each other, but they appear to be hitting things.
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 Do you think maybe you could elaborate on these things?
Things like that.
Wow, they must be mad to smack piano keys like that. Hey, maybe one of them plays. The local middle school did need someone to play piano for their school play this Christmas.
Mary, never mind the upteenth performance of A Christmas Carol that school does. By the way, that last performance was so weird, especially when the kid playing Bob Cratchit started speaking in a French accent.
It was an artistic choice.
Psh, artistic choice. Give me a. Oh, what the hell was that?
What, was that a chicken?
I think it was.
So Mrs. Warner, the landlord, lied to me. They do allow animals in this building. Huh. And to think I had to leave Rex, our bulldog, at my mother's house.
Bring it up at the next tenants meeting. For now, I'm trying to listen. What the?
A goat? They have a zoo down there?
Blah, 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 blah. Geez, whatever they're arguing about down there, it's getting intense.
I'll say. Move over. I want to listen closer.
Charlie scooches over and Mary goes onto her hands and knees, also putting her ear to the floor. Both Charlie and Mary are now listening in.
Huh. You know, from this angle, your nose hairs look a lot longer.
I'll trim them later.
What in the absolute hell?
How big is their apartment? And how did Mrs. Warner not notice all this apparent stuff being put into it?
I just a chicken?
Forget about the chicken. There's a freaking mariachi band down there. I wonder if they take requests.
Should we go down there? Should we say something?
Say something. I'm ready to get a bowl of popcorn and watch just an hour of their lives at this rate.
Yeah. Gosh, they must throw the craziest parties. Maybe we gotta go down there for New Year's Eve.
What?
Hey, if they could fit a mariachi band, they could probably fit an entire DJ booth and dancers. This is like a crazy radio play. I can't wait to hear what happens next.
See? See what I mean?
Oh, I do.
I wonder if the chicken will come back.
Never mind the chicken. I want to hear that mariachi band.
Maybe if we wait long enough, they'll start playing Freebird.
A mariachi band playing Freebird. I wouldn't object to hearing that. What happened?
I don't know. I don't hear anything.
Nothing?
No. No chicken, no goat, no mariachi band, no tuba, nothing.
Gee, I guess that's that then. I guess we'll go back to what to have for dinner.
Wait. Shh.
What's going on?
It sounds like footsteps walking over to somewhere. Step, step, step. Oh, now they stopped. Whoever was walking must have gone over to where they wanted to go.
It's got to be a coincidence, right?
I don't think so.
Oh boy.
Go and answer it. Don't just stand there.
Why me?
You're closer to the phone.
Oh, all right, fine.
Mary walks over to the phone and answers it.
Hello? Oh, hi. Yeah, I know who you are. The neighbors downstairs in apartment 6H. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure. I understand. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
What are they saying?
Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. Yes, I'll tell him. Okay. Yes. I'm terribly sorry about that. Okay. Have a good night now. Bye-bye.
Slowly, Mary hangs up the phone and walks over to the couch. She sits down as Charlie eyes her silently for a few moments, then walks over to her and sits as well. Well,
Well, what?
what did they say?
Promise you won't get annoyed.
What did they say?
Promise me, Charlie.
Oh, I promise, I promise. Now, what did they say?
Okay. Well, that was Mr. Wilkins, our neighbors downstairs in apartment 6H. He and his wife, Mrs. Wilkins, would kindly appreciate it if, and I'm quoting, your dumb, loud, obnoxious idiot of a husband would stop listening in on to our conversations. We can hear him talking from our ceiling. What my wife and I discuss is our business and only our business. So unless your moron husband wants a sock in the nose, please tell him to get a hobby. Then we hung up with each other.
He threatened to punch me in the nose. He threatened to punch me. That guy has got some nerve.
Oh, Charlie, just leave it alone.
That guy is ranting and raving down there with his wife. He's got a chicken, a goat, a mariachi band, and a tuba going off. And he has the balls to call me loud and obnoxious?
Oh, calm down, will you? For heaven's sakes, you're going to give yourself a heart attack.
Did he even mention what was going on down there? Why there was so much damn noise?
I didn't get a chance to ask.
Didn't get a chance to ask?
You were standing right here when he called. Why are you saying it like it's some big mystery?
I ought to go down there and punch his lights out. Get a hobby. That guy's got enough stuff going on down there where I could pick from 20 hobbies.
Now, it serves you right for being nosy.
Oh, come off it. You were right there with me.
Only because you were there first.
I just dumb, loud, and obnoxious. How the hell would he know how loud I am? He has enough noise where he and his wife are able to deafen everyone in this apartment building. Hell, he can probably deafen everybody in all of Manhattan.
Charlie, please, I don't need any more of our neighbors not liking us because they think you're an obnoxious loudmouth.
I just can't believe the nerve of this guy to... Wait, who else thinks I'm an obnoxious loudmouth?
Want to get a pizza, honey?
Lights fade up on a school cafeteria setting. The sound of a school bell can be heard ringing, as well as the sounds of indistinct chatter among students. Lunch period has obviously started.
Slowly, a spotlight shines on the lone figure that can be seen on stage, seated at a lunch table. It is Madeline, age 13. She slowly opens up a notebook that's on the table and, with a pen in her hand, she gives some thought of what she is apparently going to start writing down. Finally, after some time, she begins to write. The following is heard as a pre-recorded voiceover.
It's been 6 months, 6 long, painful months, since that night in my room, the night I threw him out of my family's life. I can still remember how freely and how easily the words came to my mind. Get out. I never thought I'd have the courage to do such a thing, the bravery, but it needed to be done. Daniel, my brother, was not the person I remembered from my childhood. The smiling, joking, loving, happy big brother that I looked up to and adored with all of my heart. But what I saw before me that night was just a shell of a person, a monster, an ogre, a beast, a junkie. He was more than willing to plant jugs on me to keep himself out of trouble. So, despite my sadness, I knew I had to get him out of my parents' life, as well as mine. And yet, I have this hole in my heart where Daniel once was. I've not heard a word from him since that night. And despite what he had become, despite what he tried to do, I'm scared. Utterly terrified and scared of what's become of him. Is he still in town? Is he still even alive? This is my brain tells me to forget it. My heart will never fully heal until I know for sure.
Slowly, a second figure emerges on stage. This is Austin, age 13, the boyfriend Madeline mentioned in Daniel, My Brother. He is a good-looking boy next door type. He walks over to Madeline and, after watching her for a few moments, he taps her on the shoulder.
Hey, Madeline.
Hmm? Oh, hey, Austin. I didn't see you there.
So, what's up? You seemed really distracted in class today. And you went over here and sat by yourself in the cafeteria.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, I knew something was up when I asked you if you wanted the extra Jell-O pudding the lunch lady gave me. You just breezed right past me.
Oh, gosh, I'm awfully sorry about that, hun.
It's no problem. I kind of figured you had something on your mind. I didn't want to bother you.
Believe me, you're never a bother.
Aw, shucks. I won't pry, of course, as your business is your business, but is whatever you're writing a part of what's got you so deep in thought today?
You'd be correct.
If you don't want to talk about it, it's totally fine. But I'm here if you do want to talk. Or just need a shoulder to lean on.
Thanks, Austin. It's a personal matter, but you're my boyfriend. I trust you. So I'll tell you what's going on. But it's gotta stay between us. Promise?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you've heard me talk about Daniel, right?
Oh, your brother, right?
Right.
The one that you don't talk to anymore because of, well, less than favorable circumstances.
Right again.
Gosh, I've only heard little bits and pieces of things about him. But from what you've told me, your last meeting with him didn't exactly end happily.
That's an understatement. I threw him out.
Out of your house?
Not just my house. My life.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't good, Austin. Not good at all. Daniel, he He's not the person I knew, not the brother I idolized when I was younger. Drugs changed him for the worse. Not only did he lie to my face about graduating rehab, but he tried to plant his drugs on me. He claimed it was only going to be for a few days, but I suspected it was a way to get him out of trouble and get me in trouble.
He did that? To his own sister? Man, oh man, that's pretty damn low. I'm sorry to talk about your brother like that, but I'd say anyone who tried to throw one of their own family members under the bus like that.
Do you know, lately, I've been taking to say that I'm an only child, that I have no siblings. It's horrible. But after what Daniel did to me, I really did feel like I had no brother. And yet I want to make sure he's okay. He's still a human being after all. Oh, also, what if he overdosed? What if he got murdered in a drug deal gone bad? And my throwing him out was the last words I ever spoke to him. I'd never be able to forgive myself. I know it sounds crazy, but
I get it. I do. He did something absolutely horrible. But family is family, no matter what. That's what you're trying to get at, isn't it? I know what you mean. Back before I moved into town with my folks, my dad, he and my Uncle Ray, they had a falling out. It wasn't drug related, but it was still bad. Dad pretends like he never had a brother. And whenever I mention Uncle Ray, my dad just goes, "Who? You really don't want to do that, deep down. I can tell."
despite everything, no, I don't. Austin, would it sound crazy if I told you I'd like to try and look for him in town?
I don't think it's crazy, but do you think he's still around here? You don't think he skipped town or something, do you? Maybe went somewhere to start fresh?
It's possible, but I'd still like to check here nonetheless.
Where do you think he'd be?
It's a horrible thought, but if I had to take a guess, most of the junkies are homeless and wandering around in Briars Park, near the center of town. If he's still here, I feel like he'd be there.
Well, for what it's worth, I don't have any plans this Saturday afternoon. I could always come by your house. We can spend an afternoon at the park. I hate to lie to your parents, but I feel like they wouldn't be too thrilled if we told them why we'd really be going there.
You'd do this for me? Help me look?
Of course. You're my girlfriend. I love you, Maddie. I'm not about to let you go through this alone. Whether we find him or not, I want to be there to help you and support you.
Oh, Austin, you're the sweetest. What would I do without you?
I could say the same thing about you.
The two lovingly hug as Madeline kisses him gently on the cheek.
Come by my house around noon on Saturday for our date in the park. When we're walking there, we'll try and formulate a strategy to look for Daniel.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Blackout. A quick scene change. As the lights fade up, we are in Madeline's room, a very familiar setting from last time. It is Saturday afternoon now, and Madeline is dressed for an outing in the park. She sits on her bed, lost in thought. Slowly, she reaches for her desk nearby and takes a picture of it and gazes at it. After several moments, she sighs and speaks.
picture of me and you, Daniel, from one of my birthdays. Gosh, look how happy we both look. Daniel, I hope I find you in the park today. I really do. No matter what, you're still my brother.
The sound of a doorbell is heard. Madeline snaps out of her thoughts and places the picture in her pocket carefully.
Hi, Miss Jefferson.
So, Madeline tells me you two are going to the park to feed the ducks today?
Yep, it's a special charity event, Ducks for Change. We donate a few dollars to buy special duck food to feed them, and the money goes to the local homeless shelter.
Oh, now isn't that darling? Well, Madeline should be down soon, and you two kids can make your way there.
Ducks for change. Oh, Austin, even when you make up a story, you are so absolutely adorable.
She heads off stage. Another blackout. Slowly, the lights fade up to the park. Sounds of people talking, laughing, riding bikes, etc. can be heard, as well as some ducks quacking from far off. Madeline and Austin walk on, side by side. Madeline is looking about on stage as they enter.
So, where should we start looking?
I wish I knew. Yeah, because I forgot how big this park is.
Yeah, we could be here for a few hours and only just scratch the surface.
I guess we can try and ask a few of the regulars around here if they've seen Daniel.
Well, there's a few of them standing right over there. If you hand me a picture of Daniel, I'll ask around. That'll be a start.
Good idea.
All right, I'll be back in a flash.
Madeline nods and waits on stage for a few moments, humming to herself as she does. Slowly, an unkempt, slovenly, sinister-looking junkie starts to shuffle over to her. Madeline becomes aware of him after a few moments, and she is instantly on edge. She warily eyes him as he smirks at her.
Hey, sweetie. How's it going?
Hello. It's fine, I guess.
Aw, what's the matter there, honey? Come on, smile for me. I bet you're much nicer looking when you smile.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm not your sweetie or honey. In fact, I'm 13 years old, so unless you want me to scream for a police officer, I suggest you leave me alone. Got it?
Mhm. Oh, what? So you're disrespecting me now? I'm out here trying to be nice, and you want to treat me like some kind of punk?
None of those guys have seen Daniel, but there's still a lot of more people we can ask.
Ooh, what? Is this your bodyguard? He's not doing a very good job now is he? I'm right here, and I'm coming closer and closer.
Please leave us alone.
Just try and make me.
Hey, mister. Just back off, okay? We're minding our own business. You mind yours. It's a nice day out. Let's all just enjoy the weather. You can go and do your thing, and we'll do ours.
Move out of the way, kid, so I can teach this girl here a lesson in respect. Unless you want me to turn you into a pincushion.
There's a bunch of people around. Run up to someone, anyone, and tell them what's going on.
I'm not leaving you alone with this guy. What if he hurts you?
Better me than you. Go. I'll stall him.
Oh, so you think I'm deaf, too? You two want to talk about me? How's about I shut you both up?
Austin, still shielding Madeline, stands firm as the junkie moves in closer. Madeline lets out a frightened scream, though soon a voice calls out from off stage. Hey! Hey, you! All action stops. Slowly, the source of the voice makes its way on stage. It's Daniel. He looks pale and gaunt, but it's definitely him, all right. Madeline can't believe her eyes. Daniel limps over to the junkie and eyes him.
Man, no one wants to mind their business today, huh? Now you want to butt in?
You've got 5 seconds to get the fuck away from those two kids and out of my sight. So help me, I'll rip your spine out through your mouth. And if you think I'm joking, please, I dare you, I beg you, try and make a move and you'll see what happens.
Sorry, Chief. I didn't know they were friends of yours. My bad. Won't happen again. I promise.
For your sake, it better not. The junkie hurries away as Daniel calmly, silently, walks over to a nearby park bench and sits down on it, lowering his head in exhaustion. Madeline, meanwhile, her jaw dropped, her eyes welling with happy tears, points to him.
Him. It's him.
Daniel?
His voice is a dead giveaway. And unless he has a twin I know nothing about, it's him.
Oh gosh. He looks so awful. So pale and thin. And his leg is all banged up.
I see it. Oh, Daniel, what happened to you?
Madeline takes a hesitant, tentative step forward, though she soon nervously backs away.
I don't know about this.
You wanted to see him, right? Make peace with him? This is your chance.
I know, but what if the wounds didn't heal for him? What if he's still mad?
It's possible. But at least you'll know in your heart that you tried to make peace with him. I'll be right here. I won't leave your side. You've got this. I know you do.
Thank you.
Go. Go to him. See if he's all right. I'll be a few steps away if you need me.
He squeezes Madeline's hand gently, and the two hug lovingly. Soon, Madeline turns to Daniel and, exhaling nervously, she approaches him. He briefly looks up to her, then turns and faces forward, as if watching the people in the park. Madeline slowly clears her throat.
Is this seat taken?
It's a free country. Madeline nods and sits. The two look forward in silence. Who will make the first move? Slowly, Madeline breaks the silence.
Nice day out, huh?
Very. Warmer than usual.
Definitely.
I notice the ducks are out in full force.
More than usual?
Yeah. Usually they stick to the pond, but today they're all walking around. It's nice though. They all look cute, especially the ducklings.
They are cute, aren't they?
How'd you know where to look for me?
Call it a hunch. A lot of the more interesting people in this town seem to flock here.
What made you think I hadn't just left town?
I considered it, but then again, I figured you didn't have nearly enough money to go very far.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. You always were the smart one of the family.
Not that smart.
You been okay? You staying out of trouble?
Yeah. What about you?
I try my best.
Something tells me that's not entirely true.
She motions to Daniel's leg. Oh, that.
What happened?
A couple of guys tried to rob me. I told them I didn't have any money. They thought I was lying, so they stabbed me in the leg.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing.
It's fine. It wasn't a deep stab, thankfully.
Did you go to the hospital?
Good one. They take one look at me and kick me right out.
I'm sure someone would have the compassion in their hearts to help you.
Yeah, maybe. You came here alone?
Uh-uh. Austin's here. My boyfriend Austin?
She motions over to Austin, who gives a small smile, a wave, and a thumbs up right back. The looks good in a suit kid? Him? He looks over to Austin again, who waves somewhat nervously. Gee, he looks like a nice kid.
He's wonderful. He's been so supportive of me trying to find you. He even came up with the idea for us going to look in the park. He told Mom and Dad we're going to a duck feeding charity event as an excuse.
Quite a creative liar.
Right?
Maddie.
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
So am I.
You have nothing to be sorry about.
I feel like I do. In a way, I spoke out in anger. I threw you out. I shouldn't have been so hasty. I could have tried to get you help, but instead I kicked you out. Not even head of the house. Mom and Dad are. Who am I to kick someone out?
You had every right to. I was a piece of garbage. I lied to your face. Tried to plant those baggies on you.
The fact that you realized that was horrible is a start.
I just don't get it. Don't get it at all.
What is it?
I did all of this to you. Something so unforgivable. And yet not only do you forgive me, but you're actually apologizing to me when you weren't even in the wrong. Why?
Austin said it best. Family is family. That night was just a whole big mess. You were a big mess. You hurt me in a big way, but you're still my brother. I love you. I could never abandon you.
Never?
Ever. Daniel?
I don't want to be like this. Not anymore. I can't live like this. I've been outside for months. I'm at the end of my rope.
Oh, Daniel.
Madeline, I want help. I need help.
And I want to help.
Promise?
I promise.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. I know I did a lot of bad things, but I really hope in time you could find it in your heart to fully forgive me.
I will.
The two hug lovingly. An instrumental version of Daniel slowly begins to play as Austin smiles and walks over to Daniel and Madeline.
Maddie,
Austin, this is my brother, Daniel.
hey Daniel. It's nice to finally meet you.
Hey, Austin. I've heard a lot about you, kiddo. You'd better be taking care of my little sister.
I am, and I will. I promise.
Believe me, he has. In spades.
She stands up and adorably kisses Austin briefly on the cheek, then hugs him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course.
Madeline breaks off from Austin and hugs Daniel again.
Let's get you to one of the shelters nearby. Get you cleaned up and patched up.
I'd like that.
And then maybe you can go back to rehab, not just for me, but for you as well.
Yes. Yes, I will. Madeline happily smiles as the trio slowly head off stage, and we hear her pre-recorded thoughts once more.
Once upon a time, there was a young girl who had a brother. The brother at first got very sick, and that sickness caused him to be put under a spell that made him not very nice. And at first, the sister was prepared to never see her brother again because of it. But soon, the sister realized that no matter what, she loved her brother. And her love for him slowly but surely broke that evil spell. And they were on the road to living happily ever after as a family again.
A dimly lit, bare stage. It is eerily quiet at first, but soon we begin to hear the sound of crickets chirping and a dog barking in the distance. As this goes on, an opening narration can be heard. Most people like to say that creatures such as vampires, witches, and werewolves are the stuff of legends, that they're just tall tales made up to entertain audiences and to keep young girls and boys from misbehaving, lest these creatures come for them. However, to some people, like Susie Jenkins, no matter how incredible the story might sound, they are very much real. This was a tale that happened to her when she was around 13 or 14 years old. It was the summer of 1969 when it all occurred, and young Susie was leaving a babysitting job to walk home for the evening.
Well, don't go around tonight, but it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the right. Don't come around tonight, but it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the right.
Oh, that was the sweet, sweet sounds of Queen's Clearwater Revival, baby. Man, that track is so hot, it's burning my hands just touching it, daddy. And it's also burning its way right up the charts. Just remember, folks, this here Wolfman ain't the one you gotta worry about. The closest I'll ever come to howling at the moon is howling at some great rock and roll. Ow! Have mercy, baby.
A spotlight hits the stage slowly as out comes Susie. She is the stereotypical all-American girl next door type. She is dressed in the fashion of teenage girls of the late 1960s. She places a wad of money in a small purse she has, then looks off stage to someone and speaks.
Have a good night, Mrs. Carmichael. Oh, no, ma'am. Mr. Carmichael doesn't have to drive me home. I only live a few blocks away. Babysit little Jeremy next Friday? Sure, I can do that. Just let me know the details. You can call my mom tomorrow about it. Good night.
With that, Susie begins to walk slowly across the stage, as if she is walking home. She hums sweetly to herself as she does so. Soon, a second figure emerges onto the stage. He is a drifter, dressed in rags, with a scraggly long beard and dirty, unkempt long hair. He has on a pair of old tattered gloves as well. He spots Susie walking and approaches her in a calm, silent, though at the same time ominous and eerie menace. He soon darts out in front of her, and she comes to a nervous stop.
Good evening, little lady.
Well, hello, sir. How are you?
Sir, huh? Well, aren't you just a polite young lady? So, late night tonight, hmm?
You could say that, yes.
Well, I couldn't help but look at your purse, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to have recently come into possession of a large sum of money, hmm?
Well, gosh, yes, I did, actually, from babysitting. Golly, how did you guess that correct?
That large bulge in the shape of a wad of money right there was a bit of a giveaway. Say, do you suppose, my dear, you could perhaps indulge me? Perhaps a little something so that I may get a bite to eat and something to drink?
A beat. Susie reaches into her purse and pulls out a paper bill. She hands it to the drifter.
Sure. I'm afraid I can't give you much, though, as my parents want me to save as much money from babysitting as I can. They don't want me to be wasteful.
Very smart move on your parents' part. But thank you for this money, though, my dear.
You're welcome.
A pause. The drifter moves closer to Susie. She's starting to show her nervousness.
I need to get going now, sir. It's late enough as it is. Have a good night.
Susie attempts to walk off, but the drifter gently but alarmingly grabs her wrist. Susie freezes up. She is now terrified, but she tries to again keep a calm exterior.
Sir, please let go of my hand. Sir, I'd like to get home, please. I'll scream if I have to.
Don't blow your top, little missy. I just like to give something to you.
Slowly, the drifter pulls something out of his pocket. He places it in the palm of Susie's hand that he is holding, still by her wrist. It is a pointed silver object.
Thank you. I'm not quite sure what it is, though.
A silver bullet.
Oh, golly. A silver bullet. Thank you.
Consider it protection.
Protection. I don't understand.
Well, from the wolves, my dear. The wolves.
The wolves?
Oh, yes, indeed. Especially those wolves in sheep's clothing. Take good care of yourself now, my dear. And please, use that silver bullet wisely. Wolves are out and about everywhere. You never know when you might need to use it.
He slowly backs off the stage and into the night. Susie retreats a few steps from where she stood, and she shudders in horror and anxiety.
Oh, good grief. That was scary. I thought it was going to be a picture on the front page news back there. Yeesh. I should chuck this thing into the woods. Who knows what was in that man's pocket?
She goes to toss the bullet. However, suddenly, shockingly, she stops herself. She looks down at the bullet again. Something seems to be nagging at her, almost as if something is telling her to keep the bullet on her person.
On second thought, no. Mom always did say that I should go with nagging gut feelings, no matter how crazy they seem. I think I'll hang on to this.
Susie puts the silver bullet into her purse and continues walking along a set path on stage. Meanwhile, a boy similar in age to Susie, around 13 or 14, pops his head out onto the stage. He watches Susie as she walks and, grinning mischievously, he does a shh gesture to the audience, then proceeds to tiptoe up to her. He dons a werewolf mask as he does this, then begins to breathe heavily in an attempt to scare her. Susie hears this and she stops in her tracks as the boy stops directly behind her.
Oh, goodness, now what? Whoever it is out here right now, I'm not in the mood for it. I can't take any more scares. Now show yourself.
Well, if you say so.
The boy lets out a roar, and Susie
Rawr!
screams in fright and backs away, clutching her hand to her purse. The boy slowly begins to chuckle, then laughs and pulls the mask off.
I got you good, Susie.
Chris Jackson, that was not funny.
Well, if it wasn't funny, then why am I laughing?
Susie begins to roughly smack Chris's arms, chest, and the side of his head. He laughs as he tries to stop her.
Hey, come on, cut it out. It was just a prank.
Prank nothing. You nearly gave me a heart attack. What's the matter with you, huh? Do you have a major stupidity leak going on in your head? Ugh, you goon! You brute!
Sheesh, lighten up, would you? I get enough wax from my grandmother, aunts, and sisters. Italian families, am I right? That was a joke, Susie. Come on, jokes, things to try to lighten the mood.
Go away and leave me alone, you creep.
Aw, Susie, don't be that way.
I'll be any way that I want.
Look, if it makes you feel any better, you're the third person I scared today with this wolf mask. I already scared my sister Jamie and old man Withers down at the drugstore too. Boy, for a guy pushing 80, he sure jumped high when I scared him. Plus, he moves really fast when he's chasing someone down afterwards.
Well, gee, when you put it that way, I guess that makes it okay.
Oh, phew. I'm so glad you understand.
Susie frowns and elbows Chris roughly in the stomach. He groans and clutches where she hit him.
Oh, that was sarcasm. Got it.
Susie storms away from Chris. He sheepishly stuffs the wolf mask in his pockets and follows her.
Okay. So, I'm a major butthead.
You got that right.
I'm sorry, okay? I really am.
I have nothing else to say to you. Good night, Chris.
Aw, Susie.
Good night, Mr. Jackson.
She points to off stage, pretty much telling him where to go. Chris tries to protest, but he soon thinks better of it. He sighs, resigned, and begins to slump off.
How do you like that? Getting told to hit the bricks by the girl you have a crush on.
Wait. Come back here a second.
Don't hit me, please. I bruise easily.
Calm down, you gutless wanderer. Did you say you have a crush on me?
Well...
I know what I heard. Don't dig yourself a deeper hole and deny it.
I mean... You know what? Screw the other fellas. I'm not going to be afraid to be called a sissy or a pansy. Yes, Susie Jenkins, I happen to think you're very smart, sweet, and pretty.
Really? Me? Pretty?
Yeah. I thought that since we were like 5. That's kind of sort of why I tease you a lot, and I know it's kind of cliche and dorky as hell, but it's to get your attention, and I'm really, really not good at this sort of thing.
That's an understatement.
I mean, talking to a girl as pretty as you.
Gosh.
I don't know. Between my own doubts and if you felt the same way and being afraid of the other fellas ragging on me for liking a girl, I don't know. I just hid my crush on you by acting like a jerkwad. And I'm awfully sorry about that. I wish I could have done things differently. I just marched right up to you and asked you out on a date.
You'd want to go on a date with me?
Sure I would. And in fact, I'm going to keep being honest. I kind of sort of really like to kiss you right now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, only if you're cool with it, of course.
Well, I mean, it did seem like you gave me a sincere apology just now. And you said some really sweet things to me as well. It didn't seem like a cover up to me. Usually I can tell when someone isn't telling me the truth. And I can't lie. I think you're awfully cute. Yes. My answer is yes. But just one kiss. Deal?
Deal.
And you better not tell anyone what we're about to do, okay? Especially those goofball friends of yours. The last thing I need is them teasing me about it. Or my girlfriends hounding me about it. Promise?
Cross my heart.
Okay.
Slowly, shyly, she puckers up and leans in. Her lips softly and gently press to Chris's in a kiss. It is a plain, ordinary, no-frills kiss. But Chris looks to be on cloud nine nonetheless. His eyes dizzily close. Susie lets the kiss linger for a count of 4, then breaks off.
There.
Oh, wow. My first kiss. I mean, since last month, I've been kissed plenty of times. So not that it's gonna brag about it or anything.
Right, sure thing. Come on then, Mr. Hot Lips, walk me home,
Absolutely.
Before the two can link arms, we suddenly hear a nearby and ominous wolf howling sound. Susie gasps and looks around for the source of the noise. Chris also seems surprised.
You've got some nerve.
Well, ow! What do you mean?
Sweet talking me into a kiss, then trying to scare me again? Chris Jackson, I don't know what you think I am, but I am certainly not that kind of girl, you creep.
Susie, it wasn't me this time.
A likely story.
Susie, I swear it wasn't me. Besides, you were looking right at me when we both heard the howling, weren't you?
I was, wasn't I?
Exactly.
Well, maybe you hid a recording device out here somewhere to trick me.
Are you kidding? I only found out you were babysitting here half an hour ago. Ignoring that, the only recording device at my house is the one my old man uses to record his dictation for work. I thought he'd kick my butt to the moon and back if I snuck it out of the house, and he found out. I'm not taking that kind of risk.
We hear the wolf howling again. Susie frantically looks at Chris, who puts his hands up in innocence.
I swear on everything that wasn't me.
I know. Let's get out of here. Like, right now.
You don't have to tell me twice.
The two begin to hurry down a dirt path, though it seems no matter how quickly they walk, they can still hear the sounds of howling. Soon we hear added growls, moans, and footsteps along with the howls.
Susie, I know this is going to be gross, so I apologize in advance, but I'm about ready to wet my pants from this.
I'm way too scared of what's happening right now to be grossed out about that. Believe me.
The two continue to hurry, but the noises seem to be keeping pace with them, even getting closer. Susie trips and falls to the stage, and Chris stops to help her up as quickly as possible.
Oh, for God's sake, why aren't we any closer to your house? Why do you have to live so far away?
I knew I should have gotten a ride home from Mr. Carmichael.
For a third time, the two teens hurry around the stage. Soon, though, panic, anxiety, and needing to catch their breath stop them. Susie clings to Chris as the two fearfully look around.
Whatever it is that's chasing us, it sounds like it's getting closer and closer.
Stop it. Stop it. Leave us alone. We just want to get home, please.
Susie, make a break down the road. I'll distract whatever it is that's near us. Find someone, a policeman preferably, and then bring him back here.
But what about you?
Never mind about me. Just do it.
No way. I'm not going to let you get hurt alone.
A beat. Soon, Susie remembers the silver bullet. She reaches frantically into her purse and pulls it out. She takes a few steps out into the open and holds the bullet up for all to see.
What are you doing?
And now look here. I have a silver bullet. If you're what I think you are, this is your weakness, isn't it? I read about it in books. My grandfather told me stories about werewolves. So just get out of here. I mean it.
The sounds of whatever is near Susie and Chris suddenly calm down and cease, almost as if they have stopped at the sight of the bullet. Chris watches Susie in amazement as she bravely, firmly keeps the bullet in view. Suddenly, we hear a voice from off stage.
Hey! Hey, you! Get your hands up, nice and slow.
Huh?
Is that a police officer?
Oh, thank God, our savior.
We soon hear the sounds of a struggle. Then a familiar second voice is heard.
No, no, let me go. Let me go. She saw me. She had my weakness.
That sounds like the weird, creepy drifter from earlier.
Weird, creepy who?
Soon, the voices now show themselves on stage. It is indeed a police officer who has cuffed and is dragging a crazed, babbling drifter. He spots the two teens.
Are you two okay?
We are now.
She knew about silver bullets. She had to be eliminated. She was brave enough to take it. That means she was brave enough to kill werewolves like me.
Oh gosh, he's talking crazy.
Keep quiet and stop scaring this poor girl, you Looney Tune. We've been getting a lot of calls about this guy, mad as a hatter. Apparently he's been approaching people and offering them a silver bullet to keep. Then he attacks them and takes it back. It's a damn good thing I was out patrolling when I was. This screw loose has apparently killed 4 people in connection with this whole silver bullet thing, if reports are correct.
Killed?
Killed?
I didn't kill anyone. It was a werewolf within me. I'm innocent. Innocent, I tell you.
Shut up, you. There's my backup now. You two, stay put a second, okay? We need to ask you some questions about what happened out here. For now, though, let's go, Wolfie boy. You can scratch fleas in the back of a squad car.
He drags a protesting drifter away. Susie and Chris turn to look at one another. Then, almost out of impulse, Susie hugs Chris tightly.
Oof! Susie, hugging me too tight. I need air.
Oh God. Oh God. I talked to him like 10 minutes ago. I didn't think he'd.
Shh. It's okay. It's okay. The policeman got him now. He's gone. We're okay. We're okay. You and me. We're fine.
We are, aren't we?
We are.
Susie gazes at Chris. She slowly smiles a relieved, adoring smile at him. She soon leans in and she pecks Chris gently on the lips.
Oh, gosh. Not that I minded, but what was that for?
You really do care. Really do like me. You were ready to let me run to safety while you paced off with that werewolf.
Told you I liked you, and I meant it. Every single word.
You sure proved it to me. I'm sorry I doubted you for even a second.
And I'm sorry for being a dork and scaring you like that. I should have just asked for your number directly like a normal human being. Not use a stupid werewolf mask to scare you.
555-4795.
Huh?
555-4795. It's my phone number.
Oh! Oh! No fooling?
No fooling. Though, if my dad happens to answer, don't get nervous. He might sound gruff and tough, but he's a swell guy and a teddy bear overall when you get to know him.
If I'm the first boy that starts calling your house, something tells me that it'll take him a bit longer to come around to the idea of it.
The two smile and gaze at one another for a few seconds, though soon something catches Chris's eye on the ground. He walks over to it slowly.
What's wrong?
Hang on a second.
Oh, what is it? Do you see something?
I do.
He slowly picks up the object he has spied on the ground. He holds it up to the light as Susie walks over to him.
What is that?
Well, I know that sounds kind of crazy, But for the life of me, this looks like little tufts of fur.
Tufts of fur?
Yeah, almost like something that would drop off of a dog or
Wolf?
yeah, a wolf.
The two look at one another, then the tuft of fur, then one another again. Chris's eyes widen as he drops the tuft, and he and Susie back away a few steps from it.
Oh boy.
boy.
Please let it have been a stray dog. Please, please, please let it have just been a stray dog.
Officers! Officers, could we speed this up? I'd like very much to get home and hide under my covers in my bed.
I think I need a change of pants now.
The two hold one another in fear as they stay as far away from this tuft of fur as possible. We soon hear one last howl from offstage, a spooky, ominous one. Lights slowly fade up on a bare stage. After a few moments of silence, out walks a boy onto the stage, wearing a jacket that seems to be obscuring something he is wearing underneath it. This is Henry. He carries with him a plain white bedsheet that seems to be doubling as a candy bag. He comes center stage and directly addresses the audience.
Every so often, my friends and I have a discussion among ourselves. What is the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life? Normally, the answers my friends give come from things in books or movies. They say things like Dracula or the Wolfman or zombies. Not me, though. Whenever they ask me what the scariest thing I ever saw was, I simply say the same sentence to them over and over. The scariest thing that ever happened to me was the night I walked with an actual ghost. Now, most of my friends think I'm making some kind of silly joke, dismiss me as being dumb or crazy. But I was there. I saw it happen. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Halloween when it all occurred.
Slowly, Henry unzips his jacket and tosses it off stage, revealing that he is dressed in a scarecrow costume.
Now, on this particular Halloween, my friends, Jenny, Richie, and Louie, all thought it would be a totally cool idea to dress up as characters from The Wizard of Oz. Jenny would, naturally, be Dorothy, Richie would be the Tin Man, Louie the Cowardly Lion, and me as the Scarecrow. We'd planned it out for weeks and weeks. We'd be the hit of the town. Heck, we'd even enter the annual Halloween costume contest as a group. We'd split the $100 prize, $25 each. Imagine my surprise when, come that night, I find Jenny dressed as a witch, Richie as Groucho Marx, and Louie as the Lone Ranger. Yeah, thanks for the memo about changing plans, you guys. I begged my mother to take me to the costume shop to find me a replacement, but she just told me, "Oh no, I already spent money getting you that silly scarecrow costume. That's the one you're gonna wear. It's your fault for not communicating better with your friends." So, the scarecrow I was.
Henry sighs again and trudges around on stage, as if walking down a street trick-or-treating. A few other kids pass by him, meanwhile, chattering to one another in excitement.
I can't lie. I was pretty peeved at my friends for pulling a last-minute switch on me and sticking me with a dorky scarecrow costume. So, I decided to trick-or-treat by myself. Truth be told, a small part of me didn't even want to go trick-or-treating that night. I was just in an overall bad mood, feeling betrayed and disgusted. Who'd want to give candy to some dumb-looking scarecrow anyway? I was prepared to just be on autopilot. I'd ring doorbells, give a flat trick or treat, take my candy, and go. But little did I know that my Halloween was about to get very interesting.
Henry sadly sighs and continues to trudge around on stage. Suddenly, though, as the instrumental guitar beginning of the song Spooky by Classics 4 starts up, a spotlight shines on a girl who slowly walks onto the stage.
In the cool of the evening when everything is getting kind of groovy.
She is dressed up like a Greek goddess. She walks slowly, almost ghostly. She walks past several kids, seemingly going right through them. Henry's eyes go to her, and he stops in his tracks at the sight of her. He is awed, transfixed. As the girl slowly walks past him, she gives him a sweet, almost bewitching smile. Henry, smitten, gives a timid wave and shy look back to her. She smiles again and puts a hand to her mouth in a dainty giggle, then turns and walks further away from him. Henry turns to the audience and speaks.
She was the most jaw-droppingly, out of this world, beautiful girl I had ever seen. The most beautiful eyes, long, silky hair, a sweet smile, and I had never seen her around before. Who on earth could she be? Was she new in town? I thought to myself. I don't know what it was. Perhaps it was the full moon. Perhaps it was the spirit of Halloween. Perhaps it was the fact that I was head over heels smitten by her at first sight. But I had to go over to her, had to say hello to her, had to talk to her. If only for a few seconds. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Well, I guess besides the possibility of getting laughed at or slapped.
Henry races over to the girl, then skids to a stop in front of her as she calmly stops in her tracks.
Excuse me, miss?
Yes?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi again.
Hi.
My goodness, you sure are big on saying hello.
I'm sorry. You stupid dork. Say something other than hi, you idiot, Henry.
You're doing fine. Don't worry. At least you're being polite, right?
Yeah, sure. What's your name?
I'm Ligeia.
Ligeia. Gosh, that's a really pretty name. I don't think I've ever heard a name like that.
My mother thought of it. She was very much into Greek mythology. And you're Henry, yes?
How'd you know that?
Well, as you recall, you said just a few moments ago, quote, say something other than hi, you idiot, Henry. Unless you have an invisible friend, Henry, that I'm not aware of.
Oh, right. Gosh, you'll have to excuse me.
A butte. He shrugs and does a point to his head, a la the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz.
If only I had a brain, am I right?
Ligeia does not answer. She simply gazes at Henry. Henry, thinking his joke has bombed, nervously, anxiously clears his throat, then backs up a few steps. He is clearly losing his nerve.
Well, I suppose I ought to just, get going then. It was nice meeting you, Ligeia. Happy Halloween, I guess, and hope you get some cool candy. Hope you get cool candy. Oh God, if she didn't think you were a loser before, she must think you're one now. I'm going home. I can always buy some candy at the store.
Henry, wait a second.
Huh? What is it?
Well, I was about to say, why don't the two of us trick or treat together? What do you say?
Me and you. Trick or treat together?
Of course, silly.
You want to walk with me of your own volition.
Sure, I do. I don't mean to be presumptuous, but you just seem awfully lonesome walking by yourself. I was feeling the same way. No one seems to even notice I'm here except for you. Come on. Let's walk together. Please? I'd love the company.
But
Are you okay?
I'm more than okay. Shall we?
Such a sweet, cute gentleman. We shall.
The two link arms and walk across the stage together for a few moments, though soon Henry sheepishly stops.
So, this is going to be kind of embarrassing and weird too. But could we maybe just hold hands instead? Linking arms makes it kind of hard to hold this sack to put my candy in.
I don't really like holding hands all that much. I'm sorry.
Aw, why not just for a few minutes, It'd be great to hold hands with a girl as pretty as you.
Goodness, you're so sweet. But no, I'm sorry. No.
Henry is silent. He goes to slyly hold Lygea's left hand, but she inches away from him.
Henry, please.
Gosh, you're not lying. You really don't like to hold hands.
No, not since. Well, a long time ago, I had an incident involving my hand getting hurt. You see, I suppose the bones just never healed properly.
Oh, gee. In that case, I'm sorry about that. I'll drop the matter entirely.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come off as rude.
Nah, you were fine. If anything, I'm sorry I kept trying to do it. I guess I'm just nervous.
Nervous?
Yeah, I mean, you're just very, very pretty. I've never had a girl as pretty as you want to walk and talk with me before.
Oh, I find that difficult to believe. You're a handsome looking fella, if you ask me.
Oh, gee, thanks. So, did you just move to town recently? I mean, this is the first time I've seen you ever. Did you and your folks just move here recently?
I suppose you could say that. We came here a while back, but this is my first time really going outside to socialize.
Yeah? Well, hey, I'd be glad to show you around while we trick or treat.
That would be wonderful.
So, you know what my costume is. Who are you?
This old thing? I am a Greek goddess.
A Greek goddess, eh? Could it be Venus? You know, because you're so pretty? Ugh, I'm usually not this dorky, I swear on it. God, Henry, just act normal for goodness sake.
Henry, relax. You're doing fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The two share a shy, smitten stare. Then, Henry nervously walks a few paces ahead as she follows to keep pace.
Well, gee, whatever Greek goddess you are, it looks great. But, did you maybe get confused with the costuming?
What do you mean?
Well, your stomach there, you've got it wrapped in some bandages. Were you originally going to be a mummy and then changed your mind?
She almost unconsciously touches her hand to her stomach, grimacing a bit as she does.
No.
Are you okay?
What do you mean?
You touched your stomach there. Gosh, I didn't mention something I shouldn't have, did I? I'm sorry. God, I'm such a knucklehead. I don't know when to keep my big mouth shut sometimes.
It's fine. Don't worry. It's just I have a few things on my mind is all.
Oh, well, I won't pry if you don't want to talk about it, but if we're going to be new friends, I just want you to know, if you ever have any kind of trouble, I'd be glad to help you.
That's very brave and sweet of you, but trust me, this is a bit out of your league. No offense meant.
None taken.
The two walk in silence for several moments. Then, Ligeia gazes at Henry and speaks.
I know we just met, but I honestly feel a nice connection already. I feel like I can trust you. You've been so very kind and sweet since we said hello. Several times, though. Keep this between us.
Cross my heart.
It's my father. He's not the greatest guy, not the nicest. In fact, he can be a horrible beast when he wants to.
Oh, gee.
Don't get nervous. It never gets as bad as you might think. My mother, she protects me from the brunt of it. Gosh, it makes me scared for her. She's a bit eccentric is all. You see, my mother does a lot of theater things. I mean, a lot. Everything from the way she prepares dinner to the way she says hello to me is choreographed to the most minute detail. It's a little silly at times, but I find it endearing. It doesn't help, though, that my mom is really big into doing seances and spiritualism. My dad hates that kind of stuff. Says it's unnatural. Sometimes, even though I hate to say it, I wish my mom would dial things back a bit, because my father has a really bad temper, and to make things worse, he drinks a lot. And when he gets drunk, his temper is even worse.
I'm so sorry. No one should have to go through that. Ever.
I say that to myself many times.
Well, listen, Ligeia. I just want you to know, even though we've just met, I'd love very much to become good friends with you. I won't try and do anything crazy to get you or your mother into more danger or trouble with your dad. But what I can do is be there whenever you need someone to talk to. If you need advice or just to vent, I'd love to help. You know what? Let's think about some awesome things, like getting some candy. I know it's not much, but heck, it'll help you take your mind off things, even if only for a little while, right?
Right. Henry, that's the nicest thing I've heard from someone in some time. You've no idea how much it helps. Like you said, even getting my mind off things for a little while. It's a big help.
Well, what are we waiting for? Our candy awaits.
The two share a laugh as the action freezes on stage a moment, and Henry looks to the audience.
Ligeia and I, we must have walked around to nearly every street in our town. We talked about all sorts of things. Our hobbies, likes, dislikes, favorite things, everything. I was having a great time, not just because I was talking to someone so nice and pretty, but because Ligeia herself seemed to be having a great time too, forgetting about all her troubles, whatever they might be. Pretty soon, though, the night started to wind down.
Henry goes back into the scene. He and Ligeia are walking side by side in silence. Soon, Henry stops and looks to Ligeia.
Well, that was the last street. We hit every house.
Goodness, did we?
We did. This might be a new record for me. I don't think I've hit every house in town before.
Henry peers at Ligeia's empty bag in her other hand and curiously raises a brow.
Hey, wait a second. No candy? No one gave you any candy?
I suppose not.
What the heck? You were standing right next to me. How could anyone miss you?
I suppose since you were the one who said trick or treat at the doors, when they open, people giving out candy were drawn to you.
Well, that's still not fair. Not fair at all. I'll gladly give you some of mine.
You don't have to.
I insist. I'd feel like a heel if you went home empty-handed.
Why can't all boys be as kind as you? But no, it's fine. Just having the experience of walking with someone and trick-or-treating is prize enough.
Well, oh, okay. If you're sure. But just say the word and some of my candy shall be yours, my lady.
No, I thank you, kind sir. Gosh, Seems like time just flew by.
I feel the same way.
Probably because I was having such a wonderful time.
Me too.
Henry, you're blushing.
Gosh, with how cold it is, I thought it was just my cheeks getting numb.
Oh, you. Henry, thanks so much for accompanying me tonight. I had a wonderful time, and it really did take my mind off things. You're so very charming, so very funny, so sweet, too.
I'm gonna blush more if you keep that up.
I only speak the truth. Thank you, Henry. Sweetie. Thank you.
The two gaze at one another shyly and smittenly again. Henry breaks the silence.
Well, since trick-or-treating is done now, what should we do?
As much as I'd like to keep this night going, it's getting late. I should probably start heading home.
Could I walk you to your house?
Oh no, that won't be necessary. Besides, I'm a long way from home. I wouldn't want you to get lost.
Oh, I won't get lost. I've lived here all my life. I know this town like the back of my hand.
Oh, you're very sweet, but I insist. I have a feeling you wouldn't quite understand where I live right now anyway.
Wouldn't understand? What do you mean?
You'll figure it out. I have a feeling you will.
I just don't feel right letting you walk home alone.
I'll be quite safe. Safer than you might think. Just trust me, okay?
Well,
trust me. Please?
Well, okay. I don't want to keep pestering you about it. Could I at least see you around again sometime?
I'd like that very much.
So would I. Well, good night, Lygia. It was nice meeting you.
Silently, Lygia grabs at Henry's arm and turns him back to face her. She smiles and, putting her hands to his cheeks, she gently leans in and kisses Henry on the lips. Henry's eyes widen in shock, and he drops his sack of candy to the floor in blissful, smitten shock, as the Classics 4 song Spooky is heard overhead.
And hold my hand. Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you. Spooky.
Henry's eyes droop closed as the kiss lingers for a few more seconds. Lygia finally breaks off the kiss and smiles a sweet, ghostly smile.
Good night, Henry.
Lygia lets out a sweet giggle and begins to go off stage, just as mysteriously and bewitchingly as she came on stage. She turns back and gives Henry one last sweet smile and wave goodbye. Henry, meanwhile, is transfixed in his spot, absolutely in awe and shock. He gives a smitten wave back. Soon, he slowly touches his hand briefly to his lips, then lets said hand drop to his side.
She just kissed me. She kissed me. On the lips. I just got my first kiss. From a girl. On the lips.
A beat. Henry calmly, silently scoops up the candy that is scattered onto the stage from the sack he dropped. He puts it back into the sack, places the bag aside gently, then, with a big smile to the audience, he speaks.
Yahoo! Oh, wowie, wow, wow. Oh, mama, my first kiss from the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I can't believe it. Wahoo! Sorry you had to see that, but holy crap, can you blame me? My first kiss ever. I didn't even ask for a kiss goodnight. Wasn't even thinking about it. She just did it. Her lips pressed to mine. Kablam! Naturally, I had to find my friends the next day and do just a bit of bragging about it.
Henry ducks off stage briefly. He soon comes back on, wearing a long-sleeve shirt and jeans. He spies 3 kids walking onto the stage, 2 boys and a girl. He grins and marches over to them, all smiles.
Jenny, Richie, Louie. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hey, Henry. What's up?
Not too much. I trust you guys had a good Halloween.
We did, yeah. By the way, we're awfully sorry about last-minute change to our group Halloween costumes.
Yeah, it all happened too fast, dude. Too fast to give you a heads up. My bratty little sister ripped my Tin Man costume down in the back of it.
And I realized I was allergic to the fur on my Cowardly Lion costume. I thought it was weird when I started sneezing uncontrollably and I was breaking out in hives anytime I put that stupid thing on.
And my dad took one look at my Dorothy costume and said, "No daughter of mine is going to be prancing around looking like that." I wasn't about to defy him. He'd send me to reform school in 2 seconds.
Oh, never mind that, you three. It's fine. Believe you me, I forgive all three of you. Water under the bridge.
You're acting really weird, Henry.
Yeah, why are you talking like that?
Oh, my good mood, you say? Well, let's just say that last night I got my very first kiss. A girl kissed me, right smack on the lips.
No way.
Ooh, a kiss during a full moon on Halloween. Gosh, how romantic.
Way to go, Henry.
Who was it, Henry? Any girl that I know? I could give you the scoop on her if you tell me her name.
Well, I don't think you know her as much as the other girls in town, but maybe you can find out some info about her. Ligeia. Her name is Ligeia. The most beautiful name for the most beautiful girl.
Who?
Who?
Ligeia. That's her name. It's some Greek mythology thing. Her mom named her. At least that's what she told me. Gosh, she had the softest, nicest lips. What I wouldn't give to be kissed by her again. What? What are you all staring at?
When did she say she moved to town?
She said a while back. So I figure maybe like a few months ago, I guess. Funny how I've never seen her around until last night.
Gee.
What's the matter?
I know all of the girls in town. I've never met anyone named Ligeia. Are you sure that's her name?
Of course I'm sure. I wouldn't forget a name like that.
Henry, you're not putting us on, are you?
Absolutely not.
I've never met anyone named Ligeia around here.
Me neither. In fact, now that I think about it, I saw you walking down Johnson Street during trick-or-treating by yourself. I called out to you to join us, but you just seemed like you were in a trance, like you were daydreaming. I could have sworn you were talking to yourself too.
What? No. That's impossible. I was with Ligeia most of the night. She was right next to me as I was walking. Maybe you just didn't see her because she was in the shadows of the streetlights or something.
Henry, don't lie to us, or to yourself for that matter. I know you're sore at us for ditching the group Halloween costumes without telling you, but we explained why. You don't need to make up some pretend girl and say she gave you a kiss to make you feel better.
What? No way. No, I'm not lying.
Dude, come on. It's us you're talking to. Just admit you trick-or-treated by yourself.
Yeah, there's no shame in it.
You guys are crazy. I know who I was with last night. Her lips kissed mine. There was no way I imagined that.
Well...
I I'll prove it. I'll show you three. I'll find her house and ask her to come out with me for lunch or ice cream or something. I'll bring her to meet you. You'll see. I'll prove I'm not lying.
Of course, Henry. Of course.
Yeah, dude, sure. We'd be glad to meet your new girlfriend.
We'll even buy her a welcome to the neighborhood card, too. Just you wait.
You bunch of finks. Bad enough you ditch our group costumes, leaving me in that dorky scarecrow getup. But then you want to call me a liar, too? Ugh, some friends you are.
Henry kicks at some leaves on the ground and mutters angrily to himself as a kindly old beat cop comes walking onto the stage. He watches Henry for a few moments, then goes up to him. All right, Henry. Relax yourself and stop kicking leaves into the street. The last thing we need is cars skidding all over the place due to wet, damp leaves on the road.
Huh? Oh, sorry, Officer Norton. I didn't see you there.
May I ask, Henry, why you're kicking leaves all over? What's got you all out of sorts, eh?
My friends and I just had a disagreement, that's all. Say, Officer Norton, you've been the beat cop in this town for a long time, right?
43 years next month.
Gosh. Maybe you can help me settle something with those fink friends of mine.
I'll try and help any way I can, boy. What's up?
Okay, well, last night I met this girl. She moved into town, I assume, like a few months ago. She and I had a great time together. And when it was time for her to go, we kissed goodnight. Like a kiss. My first ever kiss.
I suppose congratulations are in order, but please get to the point, Henry.
Oh, well, if I tell you her name, could you maybe tell me who her family is, please?
I'm sure I can do that. I know most of the comings and goings around here. What was this mystery girl's name?
Lygia was her name. Black hair, brown eyes, slightly taller than me, about my age. She was wearing a Greek goddess costume when we were out trick-or-treating last night.
Say that name again, Henry.
Lygia. That's the name she told me.
Oh, goodness. I haven't heard that name in so long.
So you knew her? Ha! I knew I wasn't lying. I knew she existed.
Oh, she existed, all right. But almost 30 years ago.
Huh?
Yeah, she moved into town about 30 years ago. I remember her family quite well. The mother was a real eccentric type. She was big into Greek mythology, lots of theater too, and was big on seances and the like. Her father was a real piece of work too. Always drunk, always angry about something. He and his wife used to argue all the time. I was called over to that house for their shouting matches more times than I could remember.
Lygia, she mentioned her dad being mean, and he and her mom fighting a lot. No, come on. This is just a coincidence, right? Sir, where do they live? Do you know?
Well, they lived on Marston Street.
Marlson Street. That's not far from here. I'll go right over now and ring doorbells if I have to.
Do not start ringing on doorbells and disturbing houses, Henry. Besides, it'll be a waste of time anyway.
Why?
Son, that girl, Lygia, she died 30 or so years ago.
No.
It was Halloween afternoon when it happened. Lord, I remember it. My partner and I got a frantic call from Mrs. Conrad, the old lady who was that family's neighbor. She said she heard shouting, screaming, furniture breaking, and glass smashing. By the time we got there, it was too late. Lygia was dead in her room. She'd been stabbed in the stomach, and her hand was smashed by a hammer. Her mother had locked herself in the bathroom, and her father was attempting to break the door down when my partner and I rushed in and tackled him. He had gone bonkers. Something about, I don't want a daughter at all if she's going to be raised to be some kind of Greek harlot. Tuh. Thankfully, that creep, that piece of garbage, got put away in jail for a long time. I pitied that poor woman, though, Lygia's mother. She was emotionally broken, and rightfully so. She packed her things and moved out of town, overnight almost. Such a shame, an absolute shame. Henry is beside himself. It's beginning to make sense to him now. He opens his mouth, but no words come out. Officer Norton, concerned, puts a hand on Henry's shoulder. Henry? Son? Are you okay? Your face is turning pale. Do you need an ambulance, kid? Do you feel faint?
I need to go. I have to get to the library.
Son, you look like you've seen a ghost. What's the matter?
That's just it. I think I just did see a ghost. Please get out of my way.
Henry races off stage momentarily, and there's a blackout and quick scene change. When the lights come back on, we are in a library setting. Shelves of books can be seen, as well as small tables with chairs, and finally, a few rows of microfilm and microfiche computer monitors on a table. We soon hear Henry's voice frantically speaking off stage.
Excuse me? Where do you keep the microfilm of old newspaper articles for this town? Thanks. Thanks a bunch.
Henry scrambles on stage to a cabinet located in the center back. He opens it up, scanning quickly for what he is looking for.
30 years ago, Halloween in the afternoon, it would be next day's paper. Come on. Let's see. This one, could it be? It's the right date. I'd better look.
He scrambles over to the microfilm monitor, sets up the film, and turns on the computer. After several impatient moments, it whirs to life, and Henry sits in the chair and studies the screen.
Oh, please let it be here. Please let it be here. I can't have this uncertainty any longer. I need to know the truth.
Henry silently studies the screen for several moments. Then he puts a hand to his mouth, horrified. He's unfortunately found what he's looking for.
No. God, no. What was supposed to be a fun night of tricks and treats took a horrifying turn when, on Halloween afternoon, police made a grisly discovery at 43 Marlston Street. Officers Jack Norton and Mitch Lewis responded to a frantic phone call from Angus Conrad, claiming she heard a loud, violent commotion coming from the next door. When officers Norton and Lewis entered the home, they found Lygia Anderson, aged 12, dead on the floor of her room. She had 2 stab wounds to her stomach, and her left hand was badly smashed in. Franklin Anderson, meanwhile, was trying to break down the bathroom door where his terrified wife, Janet Anderson, had locked herself in. Franklin Anderson was subdued and arrested. Janet Anderson, in between bouts of hysterical sobbing, told officers and responding witnesses that Franklin had gone mad and killed their daughter over a Halloween costume. He just kept screaming over and over that I had made my daughter a Greek harlot, sobbed the inconsolable Mrs. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, who has a long history of alcohol abuse, is currently in custody without bail.
Henry, numb, horrified, clutches his stomach and stands up, backing away from the monitor.
I think I'm gonna be sick. Oh my God.
He stumbles off stage. A quick scene transition, and we're now outside the entrance to the library. Henry stumbles back on stage and bends down, dry heaving a few times. He stands back up, shivering and crying. He wipes his eyes of tears.
This is a nightmare. It has to be. It's just one long nightmare. I'm gonna wake up soon and it'll be back to Halloween morning.
Suddenly, Ligeia appears on stage. She is still in her Greek goddess costume. She cautiously and sympathetically goes up to Henry.
Henry?
You.
Goodness, Henry.
You stay away. Stay away from me.
I'm not gonna hurt you. I would never hurt you.
It's too late for that. You lied to me.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Why? Why did you do it? Why did you pretend to be something you weren't?
I told you wouldn't have understood if I had told the truth.
It's all making sense. Why your stomach was bandaged up, why you wouldn't let me hold your hand, and all that talk about your dad.
I feel terrible for lying to you. I'm ashamed of myself, but would you have really reacted calmly if I'd let up with, "Hi, I'm Ligeia. I'm a ghost. Nice to meet you"?
Probably not. No.
Well, now you see. Now you see why I had to put up a front. I'm sorry, Henry, but you have to understand it was done for a specific reason.
Why me, though? Why me? Out of all the other boys here, why'd you smile at me? Why talk to me? Kiss me? Why?
Because you saw me.
Because I saw you?
Saw me and weren't afraid of me.
What do you mean?
Henry, my name isn't just from Greek mythology. It's part of an Edgar Allan Poe story called Ligeia. My mother, strange at times as she was, called me Ligeia because when I was born there were complications to my birth. I stopped breathing a few times, but doctors said I struggled to live each time. It was dicey, but I made it through. Just like the character in the story tried to cling back to life. Unlike the Ligeia in the Poe story, though, I made it. That was the main reason my mother named me what she named me.
Ligeia gently touches her hand to Henry's shoulder. Henry relaxes a bit and straightens up as Ligeia continues.
You have no idea. No idea how upset, how angry, how saddened I was that my father ended my life before I even turned 13. So call it stubbornness, call it determination, but I just couldn't stand idly by and accept my fate. So every Halloween I go trick-or-treating, something that I wanted to do so badly that night. You see, before then, my father would never let me go trick-or-treating. He claimed it was a holiday for harlots and that the costumes I could choose from would damn me. My mother was always too afraid to disobey his commands, so she would always tell me, "Maybe next year, my pet, maybe next year." Finally, that year I turned 12, my mother stood up to my father and said, "No matter what you say, that girl will go trick-or-treating. There's nothing you can do to stop." Well, that was the last straw for my father. He saw this as a slap in the face, and when he saw my costume, he just went mad. He beat me, broke my hand with a hammer, and stabbed me.
Oh gosh.
So every year at Halloween, I go out and I attempt to trick or treat, hoping some kind soul would accompany me or even talk to me. Most people wouldn't see me at all, and the few who did, they would know I was a ghost and scream and run away or just hurry off in silence. But not you, Henry. You saw me, and you were so kind, polite, sweet, cute.
Dead or alive, I just was drawn to you.
Maybe you just felt lonesome like I did.
Like you said last night.
Well, I just want to thank you, Henry. I finally was able to experience what it's like to trick or treat. But more than that, I finally found some kind of human kindness in this world. We didn't live in this town very long, and while we did, I was really able to talk to anyone, boys or girls. My father was just so overprotective of me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It It doesn't matter now. Now I can finally relax a little bit. All I needed was to experience being a kid, experience some kindness, a sweet, gentle, kind-hearted person. That was you. Thank you, Henry. I won't forget this. You did more for me than you'll ever know.
Henry smiles a small smile as Lygia smiles back and puts her hand to his cheek gently, then lets it drop.
I have to go for now.
Will I see you again? Not just on Halloween, but ever?
I'll try my best. I can't promise you an exact date or time, but I'll try.
That sounds fair to me.
I'm glad you understand now.
Again, the instrumental music from Spooky plays as Lygia leans in and gently kisses Henry on the cheek for a few seconds, then breaks off and smiles.
Goodbye, Henry.
Bye.
Lygia smiles again, blows Henry a delicate kiss, then walks slowly off stage. Henry watches her go, then turns to the audience.
No one believed me. Not my friends, not my parents, not Officer Norton. No one. But as long as I know it happened, that's all that matters, right? So, what's the scariest thing that's ever happened to me? Scary, but also exhilarating? It was the Halloween night that I walked with a beautiful, spooky girl like her.
The music swells louder as the stage lights dim and Henry walks off in the opposite direction, a sad but relieved smile on his face as he goes off.
And hold my hand. Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you.